Ever since his blue-collar days working as a plumber in Ireland and living on social assistance, Conor McGregor has believed that he's been destined for greatness.
I run New York City. I'm a pimp.
Betting on himself, he quit his apprenticeship to enter the world of combat sports, and ever since, he's skyrocketed to the top, becoming a lucrative star and manifesting for himself a rags to riches story unlike any other. Recent estimates from Forbes' richest athletes of 2020 list pegs Conor's net worth at a remarkable $48 million, where he ranks 53rd on the Forbes top 100 celebrities and 16th overall on the highest paid athletes list. Now, when you're making that type of bank, you don't think twice when it comes to laying down a cool $1 million on a Jacob & Co. Astronomia Tourbillon Baguette, one of the glitziest wristwatches you've ever seen. And you also know how to treat yourself to the type of yacht that most people can only dream about, like a Lamborghini 63 worth $3.9 million. Now, being that wealthy also means that when you finally feel like docking that bad boy somewhere, well, you've got options all around the globe with homes in Dublin, Ireland, Marbella, Spain, or even Las Vegas, Nevada. The notorious Conor McGregor is now just 32 years old, and despite being primarily known as the king of combat sports in the world of MMA, where he's earned an estimated $65 million in winnings from his fights, and that's far from his only revenue stream. Conor has also made close to $16 million in endorsement deals from different companies like Electronic Arts, Burger King, and Reebok.
Dream come true to be a video game character, you know, who doesn't want to be a video game character?
Still not satisfied with all that green, Conor also founded his own Irish whiskey brand called Proper No. 12 in 2018, an alcohol line that already has an absolutely bananas evolution, which I'll go over for you in a little bit. When he isn't cashing in on his fighting ability, his insanely popular social media accounts also keep him in the green with sponsored posts, and he rounds everything off with a healthy personal appearance fee for those of you lucky enough to catch him on a down week. But none of these means of income hold a candle to Conor's biggest payday of all time, an absolutely insane 9-figure deal he got for stepping into the boxing ring with one of the greatest of all time. How's it going, guys? It's your girl Azalea Hart, back at it again with a brand new episode investigating the rich life of the notorious Conor McGregor. It seems like every fight Conor has, a win or lose, and let's be clear, it's usually win, he likes to treat himself to something nice after. Today I'm going to break down how he can afford one of the most luxurious lifestyles you've ever seen. Let me know what you think by following me on Instagram at AzaleaZoe. For now, let's get into the story. Nicknamed the Money Fight, it shouldn't come as any surprise to learn that we're going to kick things off by investigating the biggest bag Conor's ever secured at once: his payday from his fight against Floyd Mayweather. In fact, Sun Sports lists that match as the second highest grossing fight of all time, just barely behind Mayweather versus Pacquiao.
Mayweather with the more effective, more powerful strikes.
As usual, Floyd walked away not only the victor in this bout, but the man with the biggest payday, collecting a cool $300 million. Yes, you heard me right, $300 million. But that kind of money was old to Floyd by that point of his career. It was less so for Conor, who despite being one of the best UFCs has ever seen, would never get close to touching that kind of bank in the world of MMA. For stepping outside of his comfort zone and into the boxing ring, going 10 rounds against one of the best of all time, Conor walked away with $100 million, and that paycheck alone made him one of the 10 richest boxers of all time, despite only competing in the sport once. It was undeniably a huge boon to a man who was already extremely successful, but not that far removed from the days of collecting social assistance while training to become a professional fighter. So now that we know about his biggest payday, let's circle back to look at where he started. Conor's first fight was in some dingy hall where he was wearing secondhand shorts that a friend had left for him because he could barely afford his own. In fact, Conor started so far down on the totem pole that he had to sell tickets to his own fight. He'd sell them for 30 euros, but somehow after 6 weeks still be short of the required target sum that his trainer, John Kavanagh, was hoping for. Now, when John would call Conor looking for the box office returns, Conor would have already spent it and would dodge the calls because he didn't have the money to pay him back. But those days, well, they are over now. It took 5 years from when Conor turned pro for him to make the big leagues at UFC. Before the first fight at UFC in April of 2013, he was still cashing welfare checks and getting roughly $235 a week. But after winning that first match and receiving $60,000 for knockout of the night bonus, Conor was suddenly on his way to financial prosperity.
This is why everyone's been talking about Conor. It's all over. Conor McGregor, another first-round win. Wow.
From that point on, Conor's fights not only got bigger, so too did his paydays. For instance, in 2016, after his 2 fights with Nate Diaz, Conor walked away with around $4 million, and that was just the purse. Conor, being the braggadocious man that he is, has always been known to put some of his own money on the line from time to time. Take for instance the story Dana White let slip that Conor once bet him $3 million that he would knock out Chad Mendes in the second round at UFC 189. The result?
Conor McGregor is the UFC interim featherweight champion!
Conor wrote the check with his mouth and then cashed it with his left hook. Though if I am being honest, Dana never outright admitted he accepted the bet, but it wouldn't surprise me if he had. All in all, it's been estimated that Conor has made upwards of $65 million total in his UFC career before his fight with Khabib from a couple years ago, and that number is still climbing up. Just last year, he took on Donald Cowboy Cerrone at UFC 246 in January, demolishing his opponent and earning himself what has been estimated to be a $30 million payday in the process. Thanks in large part to his success in the octagon, Conor has also seen healthy endorsement checks from companies like Burger King and Reebok. In fact, his deal with Reebok alone is estimated to be in the $5 million per year range. Alright, so we've looked at the 2 biggest revenue streams in Conor McGregor's remarkable financial profile. Now let's take a look at his 3rd biggest and fastest growing, his Irish whiskey brand. Securing that $100 million payday against Mayweather got Conor thinking in his post-fight press conference, and he walked up to the podium with a bottle of whiskey in hand to declare,
My whiskey now, notorious Irish whiskey, coming soon.
It took a whole year for Conor's whiskey to hit the market, debuting in September 2018, and rather than name the brand Notorious, he instead settled on the name Proper Number 12.
Proper 12! Proper Irish whiskey from a proper Irish animal.
So how successful was the venture for this prize fighter? Well, let's just say that after Jose Cuervo exercised stock options to increase its share from 20 to 49% in the company, valuation skyrocketed, and now Proper Number 12 is going to be making more money for Conor McGregor than perhaps any other business endeavor he's ever been a part of, with its estimated worth being roughly $235 million at this point in time. And that money isn't only helping Conor out. Proper Number 12 donates $5 for each case sold to local first responder organizations around the world, regularly giving out up to $1 million annually to those heroes that answer the call of duty every day. Just in case you don't think Conor's making enough money, it should be also noted that his absolutely massive social media presence garners him even more greenbacks when it comes to things like sponsored posts. Hoppers estimated in 2018 that Conor was number 8 on the list of most valuable social media athletes, commanding around $125,000 per post on his profile. If you need something a little more, well, intimate, you know in the days of pre-COVID, website Celebrity Talent tells us that you can also book Conor for a personal appearance as long as you're willing to pay his exorbitant fee of $150,000. Sounds like a lot, I know, but don't forget you'd be booking a show like this.
I'm not getting off this mic. I want him to come and take this mic off me. Otherwise, I'm taking over this whole shit.
Alright, now that we've seen how Conor makes his money, let's take a look at how he spends it. With a whole bunch of his UFC fights taking place in Las Vegas, it would only make sense that Conor would lease a home nearby to live in just off the strip. Nicknamed the McMansion, this 12,000 square foot mansion has an Olympic-sized pool, a gym, 7 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, a living room, dining room, kitchen, and multiple game rooms. Since Conor hails from the Emerald Isle, he also likes to keep a place close to home. He spent over $2.7 million on a stunning mansion in 2019, which features 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, a living room, dining room, and kitchen, not to mention full horse riding facilities and incredible views of the River Liffey. Now, of course, since this is where Conor spends most of his time, it also houses a state-of-the-art gym to keep him in tip-top shape for his next prize fight. Finally, Conor also purchased a holiday home in Marbella, Spain, which features the type of creature comforts that you'd expect for some R&R, like a spa and outdoor swimming pool, which are directly accessible from his bedroom. Found in an area known as the Heights, Conor dropped about $1.7 million on the gorgeous estate located on the doorstep of the La Resina golf course with wonderful views of the Mediterranean. When Conor isn't spending money on a home for he and his family to live in, he's dropping nearly that same amount on a watch for his wrist. Seriously, the last house I mentioned went for $1.7 million, which is only $700,000 more than how much Conor spent on his most recent gift to himself, a $1 million Astronomia Tourbillon Baguette from Jacob & Co. This stunning piece features a huge open sapphire case, a backdrop of 342 invisibly set baguette diamonds against which the constantly moving caliber with multi-axis resides. The orbital display rotates around the dial every 20 minutes and features a hand-painted earth globe and 288 faceted Jacob cut diamond. In short, wearing this watch is like basically having the shimmering sky, moon, and earth strapped to your wrist. Conor also recently took to social media to show off his latest yacht, and while he's no stranger to owning a seafaring vessel, having once bought himself a boat that he nicknamed 188 in memory of the 188 euros he would cash in social assurance checks every few weeks, I think it's pretty safe to say that he's never bought a boat quite like this one before. Dubbed the supercar of the sea, the Lamborghini Technomar 63 is named as such because only 63 of these beauties will ever be made. Designed and built by the Italian sea group Technomar, Conor purchased this 12th made model in honor of his whiskey brand and uploaded pictures to social media of his signing on the dotted line for the 24-ton, 63-foot-long dreamboat alongside his kids. This beast boasts over 4,000 horsepower and is capable of reaching a top speed of 69 miles per hour thanks to its 24.2-liter V12 diesel. Now, I know a lot of you might be here to learn about his cars, and make no mistake, he's got a stellar collection of those as well. Everything from Lambo Aventador Roadster worth around $400,000 to a Rolls-Royce Ghost worth about $300,000. But as nice as all of these cars are, they just simply aren't as unique as that boat. Alright guys, I think we'll bring this news episode of The Rich Life to an end right here, but just in case you guys think that Conor has probably lost all touch with the humble roots he once came from, I wanted to let you know that isn't the case. In fact, on the eve of his biggest payday of all time in the Mayweather fight, craftsman Trevor Sweeney brought Conor a project he had been working on for 6 months, a chess set made from plumber's materials emblazoned with Conor's logo that tells the story of rags to riches in wholly impressive fashion. Just goes to show you that while everyone else in the fight game is playing checkers, my man Conor, well, he's playing chess. That's gonna wrap this video up right here. Be sure to follow our series on Instagram at Before They're Famous to vote on what we do next. I will see you guys in the next video.